So siga siga, everyone is coming to the table. Yeah.
I don't know.
What we agreed is like we are going to take some notes of the basic points agreed in this discussion.
And that this part must be a little bit more articulated to agree on some specific things.
And technical. And we make sure that people are here with us. Can
somebody wave that is
open your
All right.
okay,
Okay,
people are here.
you're
Hello
back.
again. Ora.
We just said that this part, table 2, must be a little bit more structural.
Structure.
And articulated in order to agree on some specific points,
If possible.
if possible.
So where is the?
So do you think we should like start with each point, decide on things, and go further with next point each time? Book of abstract.
Jacob will make an introduction for this technique.
Right. So how shall we begin?
No.
with that? No. Oh, we're missing Kasia. So everybody, you can hear us, right? We're good to go.
Yep.
Right. I can see you nodding. Great. Okay. So, how can we start this? This is a good question. I haven't prepared anything for this.
I think this is a good opportunity to.
I think this is the right time to, of course, for the
Give the lead
ones.
to the next organization of this conference,
Both next and
like
previous,
the
yes.
Louvain-la-Neuve team. So from what we know, their poster and their call for papers is already prepared, and we would really love to see your poster and hear your call for papers for the next organization in 2022.
Okay, so then I'll take the floor. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Would you mind if I can share my screen so that we can see the poster and the short call for abstract we presented? Can I?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay, great. Give me just 1 second. All right. Do you see something there?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Therese Claes, and on behalf of the ScapeCon 2022 organizing committee, made up of Diana Wolf, Evgenia Tsafou, Roxane Dubois, and Louis Dotet, we would like to invite you to participate to the next 2022 ScapeCon conference. So this event will take place in a year from now, sometime in November 2022. We don't know yet the exact date, but we will definitely keep you posted once the dates are confirmed. But what we know for sure is that for this 5th edition, so after Heidelberg, Poznan, Groningen, Rethymno. For next year, we'd like to take you to Belgium, at the heart of Europe. And more specifically, so this event is going to be hosted at the Université Catholique de Louvain, the UC Louvain. So it's a place we know pretty well at the 2022 organizing committee, since we are all PhD students there. And for this next conference, we kind of took a bold leap by leaving aside the theme relational archaeology out of the title, but do not worry, the trademark Scape is still there. So as you can see on the poster, we would like to propose for next year the title No Escape from Bits and Pieces towards an archaeology of fragmentation in the Aegean Bronze Age. So for the next ScapeCon conference, we'd like to discuss the very complex phenomenon of fragmentation applied more specifically to three main topics. So first, it is fragmentation and people. So in this session, to cut it short, we like to focus on human beings, not only be as human bodies, but also in the representation, both as real and imagined figures. And we also would like to discuss questions of social fragmentation and stratification of past Aegean societies. Then fragmentation and material culture. So in this session, we would be interested in discussing the practices of intentional and unintentional fragmentation applied to architecture, artifacts, that is related to archaeological deposits, and of course we would like to investigate their social cultural meaning. We also would like to put emphasis in this session also on the fragmentation of the chaîne opératoire and craft organization. And then lastly, fragmentation and data. So for this last session, we would be very interested in having contributions that want to provide critical insight in the way we produce knowledge in our field, in archaeology. And for example, we will be very interested in trying to explore the way this fragmented archaeological evidence, whether movable or immovable, is being displayed. But a more detailed call for abstracts and submission guidelines will be provided very soon in the coming few weeks. So everything will be posted online on our website, which is already online, so scapecon-net. We have our social media pages that should be ready pretty soon also, I guess. And so we have also email address scapecon2022@gmail.com that it's available so that you can contact us for any kind of information you have. So voilà, I think that's it. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to present the next event for next year. And we hope to see you next year in Louvain. Thank you.
Great.
Okay, great.
So you can hear.
Yeah, this is the first clap that you can hear abroad.
Thanks.
Jan's waved 1 minute ago.
Can't wait to
maybe.
see you all in Louvain. Lane.
Okay, so we have the site from Diana on the chat.
All right. Maybe we can share that.
Yes, we can share that.
Maybe I can share. I stopped sharing.
Congratulations to all the team.
Thank you very much. Looking
Thank
forward.
you. Yes.
So as figured, relation is slowly bidding us farewell, I guess. Well, and for the future.
That we reached that conclusion in the previous roundtable, right?
Yeah.
They had already been hosted.
That worked out for everyone.
How convenient. Well, it would really suck if we decided in the previous roundtable that this is an essential part of the conference.
We would have found a way around arguing
Alright.
how relational this is after all, yeah. Because basically everything is relational.
Okay, but
Yeah. So what Teres just presented is also
Jan,
a bit
did you want to
preliminary.
say something? Sorry.
Well, we're good?
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was just adding that what Teres just introduced is just still a bit preliminary. We're going to prepare a really proper call for papers, call for abstracts, but it's going to take a little bit longer until we can release that. But with the conference just taking place at the moment, I think that's okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
it's,
of course.
it's good.
I would like to say something, if I can. Very nice. The poster is very nice, and wow, it's impressive. And the topic also is very interesting, the fragmentation, because all of us is familiar with all these tiny fragments. I think that you should mention a lot that this conference is about young scholars and young students, because we need new members on this society, and we need also new universities, new members from other European countries, and more young students to participate without fear. So I think that you should bold these young conference style, and good luck with all the organizational things. Good luck.
Thanks a
I
lot.
think this is also one of the points of this roundtable. Very good point, Yanis. Do you think we should proceed with one point after another, or should we continue with what is Yanis? Yes.
Let's take the point.
Okay, so first of all, the purpose, so which is what Yanis just said, and any other or ideas on this subject. So we have like the first.
I don't know. I think the whole purpose thing of the conference is becoming quite well crystallized, and slowly we know what we're up to and what we're trying to do. And I think it is all the more getting all the more welcoming event and institution in a way. And it's I think it's really nice that we in a way we keep on this connection thing, like going from the previous to another, passing the legacy and being part of it. That would be my comment about the purpose of the conference.
Yeah, I think the purpose is pretty well established at this point, because we would all agree on some like main points that nobody will argue, I guess. I mean, obviously you're welcome to, but that this will be the event and should stay as the event for early career scholars, either students or young researchers, that it should be open for everybody, that it should be somehow focused on certain methodological approach, which we, however, broadly define. And yeah, and that's it. And it should be welcoming. I think that's the important point. And the next points that we have here for the discussion are really about this: how welcoming it should be, like how to make sure that this will remain an event that everybody will want to participate, and it will be easy for everybody to participate. And I think it's actually, I know we complained a lot on the hybrid form, like a lot, but it's actually a good lesson and a good thing to take in mind for the future conferences, that we should maybe also think about having this possibility of online participation always from now on.
I'd love to chime in there.
Never do it again. We've said here multiple times that the main lesson, I don't know if any of it reached you, but here during the conference, it was, there were many problems, technical problems and other stuff. And we said that the lesson is not to do any hybrid conference anymore. But I think if we figure out how to do it in a more simplified way, I think it's important that the online participation should be possible.
I absolutely agree. That's also something that we did 2018 at Heidelberg, if you remember. And we also had lots of difficulties and like 1 or 2 papers that we could record because of that. But it also opens up the opportunity for a larger public to come and visit and participate. Like even if you don't have the time or you don't have the money to travel abroad to do that, you still have easy access. And I think that's also a big point of how to provide easy access, low range costs and everything.
Also considering the new reality with COVID, which is not going to leave us very soon, from what I understand.
Yeah, but I think the thing is that, okay, it has been really hard with major difficulties and everything, but still we're here doing this with all of you. All over across Europe, and we had people from Australia and from
like it's possible to make it work.
Yes,
so
we can make it work.
From the
we
States,
can make use of this experience and knowledge and possibilities we have,
and develop the skills for something like that.
Since we're doing it, we see what the problems are. We are becoming aware of all this situation. And
I think we can now tell what you shouldn't do on an online, on a hybrid
and,
form.
and share our experiences on this form.
I think Yanis wanted to comment something.
Yes, I want to say something related to the purpose, but before of this, I think that for us who participated virtually, everything was fine. We didn't have any problem. It was very nice that you actually found a way to combine the questions with the mobile phone. I don't know what you did, but it worked very good. And there was not any technical problem, and everything was fine. I don't know what happened at Rethino, but
You should don't ask. Don't ask.
Yes, everything worked very good, and actually the links were fine. The YouTube also was fine. So I think that you did it very well. So yes. Now, regarding the purpose of the next year conference, I think that it is a very good chance to underline also the multidisciplinary approaches that we do in archaeology. And the 3 sessions that you presented to us is a very good chance to highlight this. I mean, through the people, also the data and the material. I don't know, I don't remember the other topic. But I think that you also should underline the importance of the multidisciplinary approaches and also the cooperation between the different disciplines. And it is a very good opportunity for this. Thank you.
I think that what Yanis just said has to do with broadening not only the participation context, but even the audience of this conference, which means that many different approaches may broaden more the context of this conference. And this adds to what we are trying to do this, and we discuss in this table.
I have one more thing about the purpose, actually, about who we want to invite for the future conferences. Because, for example, I got recently a question why I'm going here if I defended already. So I said, it's for young scholars, but I think this should be also, if we want people who recently as well defended PhD, they're doing postdocs, to open for them. I think this should be also set in the conference, I don't know, proposal or call for papers, that it's not the graduate students only, or the PhD researchers, that it's also for the people like a little bit more experienced, let's say, but still, on the early career of
Yes.
Exactly. That's also what we've done on the website. So if you open up, it already says like, postgraduate and early career scholars.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also it's like with what Kasia just said, we can, if no one has to add anything to the purpose, then we get into the technical second part of the discussion of the institutionalization and who actually is eligible for participating, and how open are we to that, and how open we want to be to that.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, so I think that's one of the points.
Well, me by having a look at these early career thing, just for the purpose of the conference and how we're going to write it and put it down. I saw that early career is defined as whoever has acquired his PhD in 5 years or less. So I guess this makes a pretty much open, easy context for who we want to participate. Postdocs as well, of course. Okay, but I think this is something that we can actually make use of.
But there is a suggestion that there should be, a line that if you defended 5 years ago, that's it. And this is, and you see the problem that maybe there will be somebody who defended 6 years ago.
Then there's the issue of how flexible we want to be.
And still not having a regular job and being like, I'm still early career. So maybe the thing is, we should.
Sorry.
Go.
I think that the good option is to call everyone who actually is an active member of a university or an institute, as a master student, as a PhD candidate, or as a postdoc researcher, but an active member, because I agree with, I didn't hear who told it, but yes, there are many who completed their PhD before 10 years and now they do research. We need some restrictions, but not very, strict restrictions. So I think that if you put the limitation of being an active member of a university or an institution, it's fine. And also, we are not so many in general in Europe who are active now in Aegean prehistory. It used to be a very popular topic, but nowadays you see that many universities tend to reduce the courses related to Aegean archaeology, unfortunately. So we need actually to widen the people who can participate, but also to set some restrictions. I don't know if you agree or not, but this is my perception.
My only,
No, I was just thinking when we had a first call in 2018 for the Heidelberg conference, we had several applications by full-fledged scholars who had been working for the FRIA or in university projects, who were way beyond early career, and we had lots of discussions on when and how to admit them or not to, and try to find a way. But that's something maybe we should talk about, like if someone really is established, if you have, like, if you're appointed at university at the FOBA, are you still eligible to participate?
I think that's different if you are an active member in an FORIA or an active member in the university, because in the FORIA, many times, actually most of the people who work at the FORIA are permanent, or they work just for some months. And I think that you should keep the academic profile of the conference and have as a limitation to be an active member of a university or an institution related to Aegean archaeology. This is my opinion, because otherwise, maybe you have to choose between many applications from the F8, and you don't want it because they are the Greek effort. I don't know if things are different.
No, we didn't only have, that was just one example of different kinds of areas where
you are very lucky that you don't have this. Okay, I stop.
But I think that the term early career scholars has to do with the point of your academic advancement. So I think it takes out what the part of your job and the part of your age, let's say. So I think it describes in flexible terms what we want to say.
Yes, but I think that for the younger, early career is not very clear in the definition, because, for example, when I was a master student, I didn't know exactly what early career researcher means. So I thought that it's not for me, it's for someone who is older than me and probably does a PhD or is a researcher. So I think that you should explain in gaps, I don't know how.
Sorry. I think the postgraduate and early career, that's what I meant. The postgraduate, so after the bachelor and early career, I think, in my opinion, describes things in a way that satisfies at least what I think it should be and is not very strict.
Yes.
Or maybe in brackets what we
can always
contain. It can be contained under this.
We have no careers.
We actually have no careers at all. Anyway.
Okay.
And one last thought. I think that I don't know who are members in the organizing committee of the next conference, but I think that you should include some master students in order to motivate youngers to apply. Because I see in other conferences that when youngers are in the organizing committee, youngers tend to feel, yes, and I think that you need it, because otherwise you have to be very detailed in the calls and the texts. It's also a thought.
But that mostly accounts for our own university, because apart from that, no one's going to see if you're a master's student or PhD candidate or something, I guess.
Nice.
Good.
Have you settled
Could we move to the next?
I think.
Have you settled then?
Yes, we
I-
settled the
Oh.
postgraduate
And
early
then
career.
great.
uh,
All right, that's that.
No time, no
No
exact
time- no
timeline
exact
that
timeline,
says
yeah.
where you're not an early career
What I wanted to
scholar.
say, so it was a comment on what Jens was saying. I think that the parameter of being active in the university, I'm not in total agreement with that, because somebody might have gotten his PhD and like just got it a year ago or something like that, a couple of months ago, and not being involved in a university, but he still is an early career scholar, and I think that this conference he should be eligible for this kind of conferences. So that's my only
Yeah.
comment on what you.
And that independent researchers
Yeah.
shouldn't be immediately
Excluded.
scratched.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we're all going to be in that situation at least once or twice in our future lives too.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Now, there's this thing, just finish your PhD and jump up to your postdoc like
Everyone does, of course.
Yeah.
And just a complete side note, but I think it would be nice to maybe have a plan for the future. Far future, that maybe this grows into something bigger, having parts for the early career scholar and established scholars. I'm thinking that, if any of us succeeds,
In case.
The one person who
We still
makes
wanna
it,
pro-
yeah.
Exactly.
Working miracle
We
here.
will invite him for a keynote lecture and problem solved.
and no, to be involved, but that's
Of course, yes.
for the future, that this is a possibility that should maybe, but only if this grows to be a significant institution, then it would be nice to have something like this.
To incorporate,
Yes,
to incorporate all of them.
Yes, but I think that if you want to do something so impressive in the future, we need to put a chronicle limit, because if we do the conference every year, we cannot have the opportunity to prepare it so good as, for example, bigger conferences. And I think that we need sponsors and other who can fund the conference if we want to be bigger. But it would be nice, I think, if we can do this in the future.
I mean,
Let's discuss this in the fourth
Yeah.
point. That's future prospects.
yeah, that's true. I was just thinking about the situation that you guys had with Rethymnon, because it was already decided at Poznan, right? That the following year would be Groningen and the year after it would be Rethymnon. So there is a possibility to have some long-term planning, actually, if we find a structure on how to continue doing this, how to keep it wandering around and assigning new committees and.
Yes.
But this is something that we could, I don't know, I think we should discuss it, but I don't know if we can discuss it at the time.
Or
at the
take a
time being.
decision about that.
Yes, I mean, we have people here from Aristotle University, and Yanis, you're from.
Thessaloniki.
Yeah, from
Yes,
Aristotle.
yes, you're from Aristotle, and Adonis, you're from. Come on, help me out. Can't remember the university you're from.
Germany.
Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
not many universities that are active to Aegean archaeology. So I think that only from Greece we have Athens, Crete, and Thessaloniki, and then from Europe we have Leuven, we have Heidelberg, in Germany as well, other universities. There are not many universities that are actually have Aegean courses on their programs, but that's why I think that we should think about the annual conference that until now it is actually annual. I don't know what do you think about it? If you think that we should keep this annual character, or if we should adopt a more wide. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I understand your point, but one of the issues I see is the fact that the graduate students / early career scholars are never at one place for a rather larger amount of time. So if we say we do it every 3 years, we won't have any connections network-wise of people that we can pass it down to. This way we meet the people at the conferences and they say, hey, we'll do it next year, we'll do it in 2 years. But I think that's almost a limit, because how many people just doing their master or just having started the PhD know where they're going to end up in the next 2 or 3 years?
Yes, you are right. You're right.
And it's one way or another, it's working so far. I think this annual stuff.
Unless the problem starts now, like we
Yes.
don't have any plans
Well, we don't
after
have any plans
November.
after
There is a
November.
lot of time.
Of course it works. Of course it works, because all the members until now are very active, and also from Poznan, the students were very active. And I think that probably for the 3 or 4 upcoming years, it will work as well. I mean, also Thessaloniki can take it, or in Germany, again, you can take it. But I'm thinking about the future of the conference. If you want to keep this character, or if you want to upgrade it in the future, like the suggestion of Piotr's before. I think that maybe we have to wait for a while, because we have to see what things will be in the upcoming year in general. And also the things in Belgium. If you see that the participation is very good, then probably we can keep this character of the conference. But if you see that you have not many participants, then I think that we should think about the new version of the ScapeCon conference for the next year, or maybe 2 years later. Just some thoughts, I don't know. We will see according to the participants. Yeah.
Let's keep it one step at a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I do not see, like, in the future a very big problem in a university reorganizing the conference, like, for example, the conference going back to Heidelberg or Poznan, for example, because we are talking about young scholars, which means that we are going to be too old in, like, let's say 5 years. All of us probably will be not too old, but in another academic level.
Yeah, but
And
some
the
others
people,
will
so
have take on.
it's not
If
a
they will.
constitution that
If
will
they
keep the same people there.
Because the thing is that
So I don't see a big problem in actually universities organizing a second or even a third time if things go very well. This conference is sort of organized.
We shouldn't exclude anything, but I think it is better to not have that much recycling. In my point of view.
Oh, I'm just saying it
but we're courses, and the list
Yeah, at
is
some point we'll
gonna
to-
get short,
Yeah.
like pretty soon. We have like
I'm just saying that if
more
we
years.
do, I don't find it that it's gonna be so
Yeah, but I
problematic.
don't. But the thing is that with all of this discussion, I think it's important to remember that it's easy for us now here sit and kind of organize the institutions
Or
here and there.
decide.
But in fact, all of it's happening here is what, 20, not even 20, 15 people,
Yeah.
and all of the Groningen team is sadly missing. But if we count them in, there's another 5 or 6 people involved. So Altogether, we have to remember that this is for now a successful but a small initiative linked with personal ties. Like the fact that this initiative survived and was organized 4 times in a row is not an institutional huge support, sponsors, and like real organization. These are our own personal ties, meeting people at every conference and deciding, okay, you want it, you have it next year.
Yeah.
And then the team gathers and we find and so this is all very personal for now and very small. And I think we should remember and keep the, I mean, I know that I'm the one who mentioned it would be great to have a huge conference in the future, not only for early career, but I meant it as a pure sci-fi. If you know, if we succeed and if we have the means and the time and energy for it in the future. And for now, comment is that our possibilities in where to organize are also limited by those personal ties. Basically, it's, you know, we can think of, oh, maybe the conference will come back to Heidelberg. Do we know anybody at the Heidelberg graduate schools right now who is here or it would like to be here and would like to be involved? I don't know personally. I knew Diana, she's not there anymore. So
I still know people.
so
I mean, I can contact people. That's not the matter. But yeah, they're getting less and less with every year. Yeah.
This is only because you know them and you could ask them and maybe they would be, but it's this is our personal network that limits our possibilities for now. Absolutely. Because none of us has any huge institutional support behind us. And I think for quite a long period, probably we won't have. Unless one of us becomes a professor in 20 years, right? Or 30 or 40 or whatever.
Be dead by then.
So just you know, limit the fantasy to where could we organize. I think but it would be probably good to think of who could take it after Louvain if we wanna do it. It might be actually a fair point to discuss here, like an actual decision to make that if we are sitting here.
As well.
But I don't know, I think it's difficult because I don't see any like immediate raised hands that saying like, yeah, we want to take it. It was always easy so far because there was always somebody clearly wanting it, and now it's, I guess, more difficult.
Maybe we have to wait.
One comment here. Hello everybody, I have some connections with a problem connection and I cannot hear you very well all the time, so I hope I understood everything. In this part, if we can publish a bit more that the conference is open to everybody to take it, because it was not so clear even to me, even we didn't have Diana with us to tell us that yes, we can ask for it, etc. I didn't know how we can organize it, you know. So I was thinking maybe if we can make an organizing committee, a general organizing committee of ScapeCon, or we have a main website that we can mention the aims of all these conferences in general terms, and to have some information about how you can take the conference to your university and how you can organize it, and some tips or for the funding and everything. Something more institutionalized, as you said, on your call for abstracts, or you know, on your yes text.
Yes, that would be helpful. Of course.
Yeah, I agree also. I agree also.
On the other hand, we have to somehow find a way. I think that how to do this in I would say democratic way.
More formal, way.
Formal also, but also, as Jody said, until now we had this easy way out that somebody would show up in the conference and say, "Okay, can we do it next?" All right, in Poznan, it was both us and Groningen. All right, so we had the next two sessions ready, to which bought us time. Earlier this year, before summer, Louvain-la-Neuve also said, we want to do it, and we're like, all right, perfect, let's do it. Okay, so that it was easy. You had Diana there. It was easily communicated, and there were no further problems. But we make if we have an open call, which I'm not saying that we should have this decision, then we might get like demands from practically anywhere and everywhere, and somebody will have to decide who's going to take it next. So
yeah, so I think there is the only way to solve it is through formalization. However sad it sounds, I know it's nice to keep things informal and friendly and everything, but I think the only way is to have the local organizing committee of this particular edition, like now it's Louvain organizing committee, and obviously you're responsible for your conference, like for abstracts and the organization of the event. But then I think the one solution that I can propose for now, and we can discuss it now if it's fine, is to establish formally a ScapeCon edition, but for the entire institution, let's say a ScapeCon organizing committee. Who gets in, we can discuss it, but I think it would be fair to offer it to every, at this point, to offer it to every member of the organizing committee in the past. I know it will be a huge group of people, but I mean huge, not that huge, like 20 people. And that this committee, its decision will be to pass the conference. And I think the way would be to do, and maybe this is now the time to do it actually, that Louvain, when they will send the, I think you're in a good position because it's a huge important institution, and you have a good network to do it. That maybe along the call for papers, there should be a call for sessions, like the EAA, with actual offers from people who want to organize, with like some strict rules given, and I mean rules, making it clear that this is open for taking, and if you want to take it, offer us your idea, like what do you want to make the conference team about, where do you want to organize it, and when, and we can have some actual, I doubt there will be a lot to choose from, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there will be like 10 offers and we will have, it will probably be 1 or 2 or maybe 3, and that's it. But that's like still having like 3 offers. You need a formal way to decide, because otherwise it will be either completely random or completely biased, that we like somebody so we give him the conference, and it cannot be like this.
Exactly. And we go away in this way. We go away from this personal networking.
And that's the way to escape it.
Yeah,
That's the way to escape it. To have a formal organizing committee, and it doesn't matter anymore. If some good proposal will come from somebody who completely any of us knows, and it still will be good, we can decide to give them the conference, and in this way break the personal network boundaries, right? I think it's the way. But I'm obviously happy to hear comments.
And I would like to add that in order to enhance this democratic discussion we're trying to have here and inside the whole institution of the conference, I think that we should make it in a way that it will not be ruled, but it will be with lines, some general lines that we have to follow, and not to be ruled in a strict way.
I mean general guidelines.
The guidelines.
And the guidelines, okay, the theoretical ones we discussed sufficiently, I think, and there's no need to say more about it. The others we also said, the early career stuff, and who is it for? The welcoming thing, that we want to stay open. We want discussions, and we want the conference to be designed so the discussions actually happens. There need to be time for discussion, not 5-minute slots like it happens a lot, but actual time for discussion. So you need your program to be designed to encourage discussions and not disencourage. That's one thing. And I think that the last point that everybody did it so far, and I think it's important for it to stay, that you provide accommodation for anybody who can't do it, absolutely, who cannot do it on its own. I think it's an important point for people who want to come, but they don't have their own project for any reasons. I think it's part of this being welcoming, because otherwise it's, you can be welcoming, but if somebody can't afford coming, then it doesn't matter then for him that you're so welcoming, right? So I think those are like maybe we should write it down and maybe send it on our mailing list after the conference. Those, I don't know how many were there, like 5 and those are the general guidelines, I think, and what Jan thinks. So let's see. I see in your eyes that you want to say something.
No, I
Missed
absolutely
it.
agree. We're just having some bandwidth problems, I think. That's why we're all a bit trying to focus on what you're saying right now.
We're having
But I
technical
agree so far.
problems.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but the others were like also a bit trying
Yes,
to.
it's
probably
the
us.
same. There are some gaps. I would like to say that Thessaloniki also wants the conference in the future, but I have to discuss it with others who are not here with us today. And but the thing is that Louvain has a very nice topic, and that we have to think about even more interesting topic to present. Because it's very nice. I think that you will have many participants, and I think that I wish things will be better, and all of us can visit Belgium in November, if I remember good. Yes, but I don't agree with the open call for the organizers, because if you do that, I think that you will show a desperate call that we need someone to host the conference, and we don't need that, because it's better to be a small conference with personal time and personal perceptions, and I think that we can find a solution. I mean that there are many young students who should take part in the organizing committee in order to learn how to prepare, how to organize, how to do all these things that are happening during your research, because a conference is very important, not only because of the talks, but also because of the organizing things, the abstracts, the scientific committee, the find of the sponsors, the program organization, probably the publication. All these are very important, and I think that it's a very good chance for the younger students to learn through this procedure.
I think that we are all in perfect agreement with that, but I don't think that the open call must sound desperate.
Yeah, I think it might sound actually
yes,
professional and then formal.
Since we are having this talk about the institute and the future of it, it's if we can conclude and agree. We can agree that we want to make it stronger, more sound, more firm, and to continue this initiative. If we present it like this, and if we know what we're doing, we know that our points, and we know our context, then it will sound strong and encouraging for other people. If we can say that, look, there is, say, an overall organizing committee that will help whoever is willing to do it and contribute and support it in any way. And if any department wants to do it, we're here to hear what they want to say and make them do it. This is not desperate. This is I think I find this inspiring, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah, and also, as I said, the thing is that I don't think there will be so many offers. I mean, it won't be the problem of like too many, reaching out to too many people, because the community is still small, and I don't think that there will be like tons of people thinking, I want this conference. I think if, for example, Thessaloniki wants to organize, there is still a good chance that you will be the only ones with the proposal, or maybe there will be like two proposals, and then we can decide that one university gets it in 1 year and the other in the second year, and that's it. And the huge organizing committee is like job done for 2 years. And this will be also fine. I don't think that we necessarily need some like strict rules and all the procedure and this like desperate search. but I think that we need to make it more formal. Like that there need to be a body who officially decides where the ScapeCon. For now, it was just, you know,
talk between us.
We talked to each other and we decided. But if we want the institution to get stronger, we need a formal body, like names that will sign under the decision that, yes, we decided. We collectively together, the 20 of us, decided that the next conference in 2023 will happen here.
We also need to communicate who you need to contact. For example, now for the Louvain, it's a coincidence that I'm also in Louvain. I didn't suggest to do this conference. It was, I think, Roxanne who came up to me. He's like, I'm kind of interested in doing something like this. And how do we reach out? Who do we have to ask? Is it possible at all? Maybe we can communicate this somehow without explicitly saying, hey, people, please contact us. We're looking for someone. We could just say, if you're interested, this is how you can reach us. This is what the conference is about.
Maybe it would be more practical that the organizing committee of each year decides for the next year. But it will be always.
It's not very democratic, though.
That's what we're trying to avoid.
Objective.
But also, look here, we can't do it now here.
We don't have an offer.
Like we have to. Yes, we don't have an offer. We have to wait for.
No, we have, because we don't have to be.
No, I mean, because the problem is.
So it's like,
okay.
like that.
Sorry that I interrupt. I didn't hear you.
No,
the problem is that if we write something like, okay, as Diana said, somebody they have to contact with. So like, or we have to vote now for 5 people that they will be the organizing committee from now until the eternity, and that they will be there forever to, you know, to decide for all these fundamental questions, who's gonna take the next ScapeCon, etc. Or the organizing committee of each year will be in the position to judge if, okay, they can communicate to the other members, the older members, the nominations. But I mean, I trust also my colleagues or other people that they can judge if somebody can handle a conference, etc. I mean, if you organize the conference, you will be in the position to judge if they can have the conference. You see my point? Like to solve all the circulating of emails and how who we will contact. And if we make a comment that everybody that is welcome to make a nomination for 2023, and you should contact the committee, the organizing committee of this year.
But doesn't it make it a bit more complicated if every time someone is interested, they first have to backtrack who was the last committee, what is their email address, how do I contact them? Wouldn't it be easier to have just like one central email address where they can reach the committee who makes a decision?
And I think that the issue is not the competence of each committee. If they are competent to decide who is going to be the next one, the issue is for us to be open and democratic, as we already said. And it doesn't have to be like, in the way I see it, doesn't have to be like we would have to sit at a table and actually vote about stuff, but just to be open. And we should also be open to the public,
and
not only in between us.
And I think it's actually helping the local committee of each edition, because this is a thing that they then don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
That's a decision to be made by the other committee. So, you know, that's the thing that you don't have to worry. I think it's the diversification of decision making, right? And when it comes to who would be in the general ScapeCon organizing committee, I think it can be, you know, we can discuss, but I think the organizing members of the committees of the last 5 years, let's say, would be a good rule. But whatever, that's up to discussion. Also, it's completely random that it will happen that from Heidelberg to Louvain, it's five editions, so all of us would go into the first one.
I guess there's not much left from Heidelberg to tell the truth.
But, yeah.
Also, we were.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I mean, we don't have to imagine that there's going to be like a thing that's growing forever, and like in 10 years you're going to have 300 people committees. Like people will eventually, one way or another, stop being involved with all this process. But but by saying that we reserve, say, an overarching role for the past committees, it helps us to set stable point of reference for the others, and have a body of a committee that it will be there, and it will actually arrange itself in a way, but still remain helpful for the next. I think at least this, it's not what you're saying, Virginia, can't work. I think that the other option makes something more
makes
fair,
more of what we want.
yes.
So the formal institution, like
Yes.
because if the local committee decides each time, there is no progress in it, because this is exactly what was happening so far, and we want more, right? That's what we are sitting here, because this roundtable really wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, otherwise.
Because there's no progress in it. That's what I mean. If the local committee every time decides, although it is possible, like I'm not.
Of course, it's been done until now.
It's been done for 4 years, so it's definitely possible.
Go
So.
like that.
An idea is like what we already talked with Adonis and Vivi on ourselves, and we were saying that we could discuss it here, is actually establish a yearly meeting, not necessarily at the conference, but from people that have been involved, and with no formal invitations or whatever. So anyone that doesn't want to be involved anymore just doesn't show up. And then
But
we
that
can
will
have
have to be online or impossible.
yes, of course,
Yes, of
online,
course.
like just an informal meeting where we can also have a discussion of these issues.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think we should conclude some points so we can
Yes.
progress, because we don't have.
Yeah,
all the
we
time in the world.
have a lecture coming, right?
Yes.
But we still have, I think.
No, we still have, but we can,
45
we can
minutes.
continue to
Yeah.
our next points, and that's right. So what are we doing with that? Can we
Conclude.
conclude something?
So
Are we
raise
good?
hands for the.
No.
No,
it's
I'm
not,
joking.
Yeah, but let's conclude on this.
Do you want an offer for 23 or not? I don't. I didn't really understand.
What?
Do you want an offer for 2023 or not? Do you want to?
An offer is welcome, but it's not what we are asking right now. If you want to make an offer for 2020,
It's not a formal, because next year everything is well organized. But if you want an offer, I can offer actually for 2023 the Aristotle University, and I think that we can do that. So yeah, it's just a thought. But if you want to prepare all of these formal thing, I don't have any problem. We can do that. We can participate in this way through the formal call after the Louvain conference. It's up to you. I don't know.
I think on the other hand, it's actually a good idea to have, like now we have Louvain, then we can have Thessaloniki, and then in Louvain we can actually announce for the next one. So we have like 2 years secured.
Yeah, I agree too that it's good to have before the current conference to have the next one decided. That's a good rule probably. So yeah, and then if Thessaloniki takes it, it's great. I mean, I guess we can. But the only thing is, do we establish this general ScapeCon organizing committee, the general one? So it formally will take the decision to. I mean, all of those are big words, but we all know that it will be one Zoom meeting with like some laugh.
Yes.
And being like, great that Thessaloniki wants it, and that's it. But still, it's a difference between this and being like 100% informal as it was so far. So I'm happy to give it to say that Thessaloniki 2023 is happening, but are we progressing to having the general committee or not? I think that's the main decision to be made.
I'm inclined to follow you on that, actually.
So,
Okay, one.
I also.
The past. What?
She said yes.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, yes to giving it to Thessaloniki, and yes also to making it a bit more formal and to create a
All right,
channel
yeah.
where we can be accessed.
Me too.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Agreed.
Agree.
Everyone? Any
Yeah.
objections
All right.
Any
Okay.
objections from?
from anyone?
All right. So formal
The Groningen
committee.
team, they took their own advantage because they would maybe, have a word here, but they are not
I
here.
mean, also committee meeting, that double end.
Okay, so then the
But
other.
if there is any other offer for 2023, we can discuss it. It's not just a proposal. If
Okay.
if there is anything else for 2023 now, or if someone thinks about anyone who maybe is interested for 2023, maybe we can discuss it. It's not there is not any problem. I don't know if you know someone who is interested for 2023.
We have nothing so far. So if anything occurs, it's up to the formal committee now.
Okay.
Nice one.
But no, you're definitely the first one to match competition. But if the competition appears, that's who goes first, and obviously, and this will be exactly this. That then we will have a formal body to make. Yes, we need to establish how this will be organized, and if do we accept to invite every member of the organizing committee for the last 5 years, which will be all the editions that happened so far.
Yeah.
Do we agree on that?
I agree. I
Yes.
agree.
Yes.
Oh, do we all agree
Yes.
there?
Yes,
Do
yes.
the online people agree?
All
Online
right.
people agree.
All right. Here, Paul.
So how many
And,
people we are talking about?
Not really, not that many.
Like
Oh,
30,
really not that many. I
25.
No, I don't think so.
No, it's
less
not gonna be
than
that
10.
big.
It's like 2 of you here,
It should be 3, but it's gonna be 2.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, all 3. I don't know if you.
Yeah, there is. We had 3 members, but I think the other guy won't be really interested in it. So there's 2 of us, and then the 3 of you.
Yes. And
Yes.
we have-
I think the original Heidelberg committee is probably Diana only now, right?
all right.
Yeah.
So
Like 6, and the Kieran Levin committee.
and Groningen, which
And
will be
Groningen, of
another
course,
3
yes, and
people.
Groningen,
So
yes.
we are talking about like 15 people, which is
Tops.
tops 15 people, and it sounds,
It sounds good, but in 2 years it will be 20, and then it will be 25.
no,
I don't think
Keep
so.
in
I
mind
think people are
that
gonna
a lot
drop
of
out.
people- Yes, a lot
Yeah.
of people are gonna just not be interested in participating anymore.
So the
So
rule-
we'll have a recycling of
Or
participants, yes.
withdrawing from this
Yeah.
situation.
And I think the rule that can secure it, that it at any point it won't grow into some monstrous thing,
It's the 5
is
years.
the 5 years rule. That
Yeah.
if your edition was 5 years more than 5 years ago, you don't have the space in the general organizing committee anymore, and it's fine. And I think there won't be any conflict here because let's face it, people have other things to do, and it's not that everybody just like really wants to spend time on organizing committees for
Other people's conference.
for other
Yeah,
people's
exactly.
conferences. Exactly, not even your own, that you will get the points and everything, but other people's conferences. So I don't
Wait, you
think-
got points for this?
You know what I mean? Who's that's Vinia who was having the So I mean I see your point, but I think the problem will disappear on its own, and the 5 years rule will also make sure that nothing of this kind will happen.
Okay, to conclude, I think, because we said a lot of things. 2022 is ready, as I can see. Everything is fine, and then we will set an invitation to the former members. I didn't understand in order to create all this, the committee. Actually, in order to create the committee, what's the next the steps after the end of the conference now? We have the Louvain for 2022, but in the meanwhile, what we will do and what
Well, not so
What
many steps
you
apart from
should
what
do.
we need to talk about still, maybe the things like the code of ethics is something we could still talk about, and how we will in fact hand down the role to the next committee. For example, the if there's like funding money that can be handed on, how to proceed with that, for example, which was the case, I think, in the past. And yeah. And maybe talking about like securing sponsors, or are there sponsors that may be willing to fund the next round as well, or co-fund or whatever?
Well,
And what about the publication? Sorry for the interruption.
And publications, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you publishing the Retina format? Or planning to?
Yes.
We're scheduling
We will.
to do.
We'll
I think
find a
it's
way to
really
do it.
good that we've been publishing all of these conferences. I know that Heidelberg was very low key. We didn't have a lot of opportunities, but I think that's also one of the things that we should keep going, because it's a great opportunity for the really early career graduate students to have this first publication that comes out quickly. Like usually they came out within a year and a bit, and to get some firsthand experience with writing papers, getting some reviews and so on.
My proposal regarding the publication is because we have 5 years now.
Contribute to the formalization of this thing.
Sorry, there was a gap with.
Yeah.
Yes. My proposal regarding the publication is to find someone in order to have a series of the ScapeCon conference publication. I think that Heidelberg started with the publication with its own institute, right? What about Poznan? Poznan, what did you do in Poznan?
We published papers in the museum's journal. The journal of the museum, which housed the conference, agreed to take some papers from the conference, and they got published there, which was pretty good because it's peer-reviewed journal. But it was obviously another of the like local stuff. It wasn't. We haven't started anything new. We just gave the papers to the journal that already existed.
Okay, perfect. And what about Groningen? Do you know if they?
Groningen was similar. They have a rather small journal there for Mediterranean archaeology, so it's specialized not on Aegean Bronze Age, but in Mediterranean archaeology.
So do you think that should we keep this style of publication, or do you think that we should find a common way of publication in the future? I mean, a journal with a special edition only about the conference of ScapeCon. What do you think? Is it?
It would be great to find something, but I think that's a financial question.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily financial, because the most important is to build a strong brand name, if I can say that. That if we can prove actually that this is an important conference and the talks are very important as well, maybe we can try to find a big brand name to publish all these talks in the future. But I know that it is easier to publish in your own institution or in a local who is interested. But I think that if we want to make conference more formal in the future, we should adopt also a more formal way of publication. I don't know if you agree with that. It's difficult, I know, but I think that if a committee will be organized for the conference, I think that this committee also should be responsible for these bureaucracy procedures, to find a journal and actually to come in contact with the publisher.
This is definitely something that the formal 5-year committee could work with. Like, if we have this and we know that we are trying to do it in a centralized, let's say, way, it's something that we could work on. And also about the financing, that's what we were about to discuss. Because from our part, for what I've seen from our university, we can't even make full use of the money that have been approved for us. Moreover, however, to pass it to the next, it is impossible through our university. But if we had a standardized and stable form, perhaps it will be much easier to search for sponsors or financing and something that we could actually pass to the next and help them in every way.
It's more of a procedural thing because at least in our university, an amount of money was approved, but at the end, what is going to be paid is what we actually spent. So we can't take hold of the money that was left. But in the case of sponsorships, then we are actually in charge of the money, an amount that has been given to us, and then we can pass it on to the next organization, let's say, or to another, something else we need to spend it on.
Yeah.
So
and in terms of publication, it would be really, really great. Like it would be, you know, dream came true that the publication series with the ScapeCon trademark on it. But let's face it, this is a huge task, not easy to go. Because I think Heidelberg probably had this idea. We had this idea.
I will want to add something. It's not so difficult as you probably think, because now I try to find some publishers for one other publication. And the very important thing with the ScapeCon conference is that actually it's the only one conference now in which many different universities take part. And this is very, very important for the publishers, because if you are a conference, for example, only with participants from one university or one city or one country, it's very difficult to request a very important journal. But if you have a well-organized program with multidisciplinary talks and many different perceptions about the Aegean prehistory from different universities, from different academic levels, then it's not so difficult to find a way. And also, the European journals now, most of them are located in universities and other institutions. I mean that, for example, if we can contact some institutions, for example, who have an important publication team, we can ask them some things. And I think that probably they can help us, because the strong thing that we have is this multi-culti team during the conference. So it's not so difficult, in order to conclude, it's not so difficult to find a journal. Of course, we will not go to Oxbow Books. It will not be our first choice. But I think that in the future, Oxbow Books will ask from the ScapeCon conference to publish for them, because in the conference, the young scholarship take part, and the future of the Aegean archaeology is that people who are actually now are in their early steps. So don't be very scary with the publishers, and I think that we should try at least. And if they reject us, okay, they will lose, to say it Greekly.
Please.
Okay, because I'm a little bit skeptical about this idea. I mean, it would be great, but then we need to keep also the quality of the publication, because now everything was peer-reviewed. And to have the publication with a publisher and pay for the reviews is a huge amount of money. And
where do we get the money from?
Where do we get the money from? This is the first point. The second point is, unfortunately, we are living in the system when the points count, right?
Yeah.
So if we publish with a journal from the university museum, it's like, in the ranking, it's much better than just the publication after the conference. This is also one of the cases that's what we also discussed, I think, after Poznań, to not have the special issue because it's not counted.
I mean, this is, I don't know if it works the same for everybody. It was for us specifically that in the Polish system, Now it's that the post-conference publication, a chapter in a post-conference publication is nothing. It's like 3 points to your.
I think
to
it's
your,
the same.
and then the
around
peer-reviewed
Europe.
journals have like. So for us, it was not only easier, but also more valuable
Yeah.
to go to this local journal. But you know, there are ways, like between what Yanis is saying and what we are saying is the published, and we would give the points to everybody who's publishing them there, who would agree to have a special issues for ScapeCon, because it's not that every publisher is like useless for us. There are ones that
of course.
would give
just the thing is, you know, to have like money to publish this and to pay the reviewers and so on, right? So this is a huge task to do.
So may we
Yeah.
add something
Yeah,
from
yeah.
our little to whom do we
So
refer to?
we have contacted our not so fancy printed books, and they have printing on demand, which is a very good condition for us, at least at this point where we are searching, still searching. They do not have any fees for publishing ebooks. PDFs are free.
Sorry,
and
we
they
didn't
have-
hear what did you say in the beginning. We lost the beginning. So,
Okay. So we have contacted Archeo Press for our publication, and we are talking with them to figure out to see if we are going to publish with them. They have different publishing packages, let's say, depending on who you are and what you are publishing. In our case, yes, it's the publication can be free. We can ask for peer reviews. We are still not sure how that is going to work. They print on demand, which means that there is no cost of printing, because when someone asks for a book, then they print it out. And it is a publisher that made the biggest, I think, university libraries get books from. So they actually publish the Bar Archaeological Series, which probably most of you have seen. They also publish dissertations, master or a PhD dissertations. It's a big publishing, it's a big publisher. So this could be one solution, at least starting off with, because it's a well-known publisher, and actually from what we understand, it's quite easy to get published with them concerning the proceedings of a small conference.
Yeah, if we get to have a standardized form, we can tell them,
yes,
look, each year we want you to publish one special issue of ScapeCon.
They do that. They actually
Maybe suppose a contract if we see it in the long term.
They are very flexible with these stuff, because they do publish young researchers' work.
Still, the point with this is that if we manage to secure some even minor financing, that we could, pass it and or use it when it's needed for publication, I believe that it would be possible to find some series like this and establish it eventually. Perhaps it will not be possible for ScapeCon 2021, but maybe if we work in it, like a formal community, if we work on it, maybe it will be possible for Leuven, starting from Leuven. We will find a way like that. I mean, I believe that we could be positive on this, on how we could start something like that. And if we have a stable point of reference, it gives us an advantage on working on it and how it cares. Our Archaeo Press said, okay, yes, we will do it. And if you have like, I don't know, how was it, 250 euros for a day of work, something like that, we'll get you peer review as well.
Yes.
I think that the most difficult thing is that if we want this special edition issue, I think that the journals are orientated actually in a way of archaeology, in archaeological way. I mean that archaeological science is focused on the application of science in the archaeology. So I think that ScapeCon is because of its content, it's very open and it's not so specific for a specific journal. And I think that the only publisher probably who would interested would be Instap, and Instap is the only that can actually support also the ScapeCon conference in general, despite the country. I don't know if you contacted.
We did back then.
When?
But that was 2018. I mean, we didn't have history
Heidelberg,
back then, and then they did not want to do
in
anything.
Heidelberg, because it was the first year, I
Yes,
suppose.
exactly.
But now you see that we have many participants from many different universities, and I think that I think that we should contact Instap for a fund for the next year. I don't know if you have already.
We should probably be okay for the next year.
Yes.
So also as regards the publication, because we have the chance to publish in Aegis. So and that makes absolute sense.
What makes
Wait,
absolute
can you
sense?
repeat?
Sorry, do we have problems with the bandwidth? No,
Yeah.
I said for 2022, we should be fairly safe with the funding already, because there's many different opportunities in Belgium through the university and without. And also we have for the publication already the chance to publish in the Aegis series, which for us makes a lot of sense because it would be mostly free of charge as far as I'm concerned. And it's prestigious enough actually to really promote some more of our brand.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense to plan these things already for the next term, or if we should like look at the long run of things and apply that way.
Well, I think that we begin to set the basis to have the luxury to do both. What's more suitable for us? I want you to know we have 20 more minutes for this, and then we'll have to cut it short to prepare for the lecture. So I don't know. I think we know that we have this common goal. We have a publication. We were talking.
A peer-reviewed
We
publication.
are peer reviewed, yes, of course. I figure that we are all positive that if we can find a standardized form that we can actually make a series of it, it would be our wish, our common wish. So, and
we agree that Instap is a good address to go to, probably. I mean,
we can ask first and see if we can do.
Yes, but it's something that we could ask.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's
I think,
a good
but if you
I
want,
think we will have a committee to
if
decide
you
that.
want to, yes, I'm okay. If you want to contact the Instap, I think that you should ask from your scientific committee to help you, because it would be easier for them, because you know the links, how they work, and then to contact them as the organizing committee, because I think that if the scientific committee supports you, probably they will support you as well. Just a comment.
Okay,
Yeah.
but on the other hand, if Louvain already has the Aegis series kind of booked, is
We
it
don't
like
we don't need them. Okay, so yeah, let
no,
Americans.
I mean for the next I mean for the next for the Louvain
For the
edition,
Okay.
that if they already did some if you already arranged something, then you know
It's not totally final, but we are pretty sure that we are going to publish there. Yes, it's our first choice, and we are still waiting for the final okay, let's say, but it's our first choice for sure. Yes, we cannot say that we will apply in Instap for the moment.
it's okay.
Yeah.
This whole thing just gets us time to work on it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a good idea actually that Yanis has, and he thinks really broad and big, and this is really good for the conference. And I think that Thessaloniki in 2023 will take an Instap for that. Yeah.
All right, so we have a plan. We have a plan for this. We are making our formal committee that has the time and space to discuss about it in greater detail. And so I believe we can proceed to some next point. We have standardized name format. This, I don't know.
Probably the ScapeCon community.
Eligible academic brownie, yeah, we have it.
Like the
I
academic
think we
platform.
discussed a lot of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, all of
Yeah.
this is pretty much.
we have,
Sad.
yeah, we have, okay. we
Maybe
have
the only thing with how does the general organizing committee, how do we do it? Like, what's the platform for doing it?
Zoom, it works so well.
We're experts now.
It's actually.
It does.
Yeah.
So we basically have it already before this
Yeah.
conference. Make sure that every committee member from the last 5 years is there, and make a Zoom meeting sometime to formally decide if Thessaloniki gets the conference.
We can also create a room on Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
And actually, because you're using
Yeah,
Microsoft
yeah.
Teams, right? And you can create a room there, and
Mhm.
you have all the members. You can share everything, like files, mailings,
And it's more stable, right? That it will
Yeah.
stay there. Because
Yeah.
Zoom meeting is just you send one link and that's it, and
Yeah.
then it's gone. And Microsoft Teams would
It's
actually
stable.
allow to make you something stable that will be
Yeah.
always there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just need someone to organize that.
Let's
Volunteers?
make another.
That's you. That's I think that's the team
Okay,
for
all right,
organizing
yeah.
the round table and setting
Yes,
this
we-
all of this.
I also believe it would be helpful if we finally make a ScapeCon mail to have
A general
everything, a general
ScapeCon mail.
ScapeCon mail, so that I believe it will be eventually, in the long run, it will be easier to.
Will it be?
I don't know.
Because every committee then wants their local,
Yes, of
email
course,
address and
every,
everything.
look, every conference can, of course, make
Sorry
its
about
own
that.
mail for the purpose of the
I mean,
conference.
that makes sense. So just that information doesn't get lost because too many people have access to the inbox, of course. But for general questions like the financing part, the long-term publication,
Yes, we could have one that we could like apply to wherever and ask wherever.
But I think then
the
yeah, okay.
So as a committee to contact other,
yeah.
not,
No,
not for our,
not what
yeah.
we're saying about the publications, but the
okay.
financing we might have or whatsoever.
Okay. Okay.
I believe
Agreed.
this.
Yeah.
this,
Yeah. Okay.
I have one more point, which is actually a job for probably this huge organizing committee to actually establish maybe a website.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
website is probably.
Of course, each edition has their own website at the university usually, but it would be good to have a website. Like having all the basic information, the history of ScapeCon.
Faster organizations.
Yeah.
And this general contact and links to all the websites of the previous.
yeah, links to the publications. I know there's a report from the 2018 that was published and things like that. We can just
So general ScapeCon
general
website
outreach.
is
Yeah.
probably something to be done, but that's we need a volunteer for that because that's an actual job. It's not 5 minutes to make a good website.
And we have to decide how will be what will be the website. I mean, we made a Wix, so a Wix site.
A Wix site, which it's nice and easy to set up, but you don't get it in a domain name. You have to pay for it.
Yeah. So
I think that if we establish like the institution and we start getting funded, at some point we'll be able to pay like the €100 to buy a domain name each year. So
for now, we have first of all, we have the Facebook page. Okay, we have somewhere to start from. All right. And we can have a mail, and so we can through this discuss and agree on how we're gonna make our website. And in worst case scenario, we make a website, and when we have the financial potential to move on to a better one, we make a better website. no one's going to set a tier over it, I think.
Or if Retino has money left over that you can't use otherwise.
Yeah, we're trying to spend it in any way. We
The
That's
can't.
an
only
idea.
thing I've left money for is the supermarket for tomorrow.
I think that the most important thing is not the website, is how you promote the conference, even on Facebook, even on the sites of the universities. I mean that I think that the most important thing after the organization of a conference is how you share it on the social media, on during before the conference, during the conference, and after the conference. I think that if you want to make a common site, I think that we should make some reviews of the last conferences. I don't know if you have already done it for the previous conferences, and also to put photos and material from each year in the review of the conference. But I think that the most important thing with any conference is how you promote it to the others, how you share it, how you try to persuade them to participate, and also to promote the conference as well. So I think that Facebook is very important, and then the other social media as well, if you want to be more open to younger participants. Yeah, because the website is very strict. Okay, it's necessary because you have to have something formal with instructions and guidelines. But in my opinion, I think that the most important thing is the page on Facebook and the way you distribute your call to the social media and also the news as well.
I think in general that worked very well. I don't know how the others did it, but we had the website, the Facebook site. I think there's also an Instagram now, and we're planning on having a Twitter account as well. And these things quickly turned up automatically on the Egea Society, on Nestor, on everything like that. And I think that's
also the calls to the departments. I don't know if you did it last year, but it's important also to have a call for abstracts or call with
exactly. We've been like distributing emails with the PDF call for abstracts, asking the departments to print them out, hang them up. That has definitely been
publish it in their official site. I think that, for example, in our university in AUth, if you request them to publish something in the official page or official site on of the department, they will do it. And I think that this is common also to the other Greek universities. I think that the same will be also to the European universities. If you ask them to publish something, they will do it, especially if you are members of the university.
So yeah, I agree that Facebook is crucial. We need to finish, right? So, and I think then the last point here is that we need to kind of clean the Facebook, because for now, I mean, it's good that there is one fan page that was passed from one edition to another, and we should keep that. Build one Facebook site, not like 5 different ones.
Yeah.
And I think for now it's all established, right? That the Louvain team has the access back again to
the problem with
I've always had it, so yeah.
Yeah, I realized that you always had it probably. Okay, but the thing is that there is a fan page and there is a user called No Escape.
Yeah.
And I think the second thing, the user has to disappear. I mean, it's confusing. It's confusing that there are 2 things, and you can find, if you put No Escape or ScapeCon in the browser in Facebook, there are 2 things, and it's sometimes difficult to say which one is more
It's the right
one and is publishing the new stuff. So I think the user needs to disappear, and we need to focus like all the effort on one thing, on this one fan page on Facebook. That's
is the user the Groningen account?
It's
possibly because they still used it. The Groningen
it's
used it too.
Yes, I think it's them, so we will have to ask them.
No, we had a problem. We have been using it, but we could not. Apparently, we could not change the user. It would not allow us to change it to no escape Rethmino, and it would not allow us to change it even to no escape. So we had to leave the whole Chronican name there, which was not a big problem for us because Adonis set up the page for like the general name of the conference.
Yeah, but it's not really helpful.
But yes, it wasn't really helpful because we posted like we've been posting for the last months. We've been posting as no escape Groningen.
I think that the profile should be deleted in order to avoid
It should just go.
Yeah.
And to have a page with the official name of the conference in general, not, for example, no escape Rethymnon, no escape Louvain, no escape Thessaloniki, no escape in general title, and then a background picture with the poster of the upcoming conference. I think that this, like the EAA conference.
Or a site or a website that will be like a repository, all the old events and all the new ones.
Yeah, so that's the website, but the Facebook needs to be like updated and everything in one place.
Yes.
So can we establish that it's the now the Louvain committee kind of task to clean the social media?
Okay, we don't have access to this user account that you're talking about. only to the other one. So the one you want deleted, we don't have access to. That's either Rethymnon or Groningen.
We
have the password.
Okay.
We should get going.
Can I put in one more thing before we finish this
say
off?
one more thing, not to discuss it, but
not for discussing.
Yes, of course.
Just with a relevance to our call. The question is, it would probably make sense to promote the Louvain event tonight, maybe before or after the keynote lecture, if there's like a moment where we can just show the poster and like, announce that there will be a call coming up.
It couldn't be done after Hamilakis and before Carnaval.
Yeah, that's what she's saying.
Maybe Carnaval can actually, when concluding, you can suggest, I think it makes more sense closing the conference and giving.
Yes.
And you know what? We can make use of Yanis Hamilakis and
actually put it.
There's going to be an audience.
Okay. After he's done, we're gonna give the floor to you shortly to announce it to whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. I would like to just throw a rock and say an idea, since we were all gathered here. What would you consider, no need to answer, just like that, if we try to have, say, a workshop or a scientific meeting and in between ScapeCons?
Oh God, you have too much
information. Leave it for the
I believe that one wouldn't be that difficult. I mean, but never mind. It is just an idea, food for thought. And yes, I think we should get going for now. We got 20.
Yeah, we'll be back in half an hour with Yanis Hamilakis.
Yes.
A bit more than half an hour.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to rearrange all the.
And we have to call him in 5 minutes.
We have to call him in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot for organizing the roundtable.
Thanks all, guys.
Bye. So,
I think.
wait.
Oh,